What is the lodestar, the guiding principle now thrashed out by our courts of the method that is to be used for a proper interpretation of any statute or law?
The proper interpretation of any statute of the law, firstly, the supreme law of the country is the Constitution. So in interpreting that law, you need to look at what were the objects of the Constitution, what is the principle and the values and the spirit of the Constitution in line with that particular law.
Maybe we're missing one another. There is a court case of the Supreme Court of Appeal which is now settled in the constitutional era. What is the approach anyone who interprets a law must take? What is that case?
Recently, there is the case of the SARS, which the court took in interpretation of the Tax Administration Act.
Are you aware of Natal Joint Municipal Pension Fund versus Endomeni?
No, I'm not aware of that case.
So that's actually the case, and the case says that context, you refer to context, must be given by the apparent purpose of a provision. Now, what's the purpose behind the provision in Section 196, which says the President and members of the Executive cannot have other paid work?
The purpose for that is to ensure that the duties that the Executive undertake become the primary duty, and that it is not overweighted by the secondary duty, which is the private interest, and further that there is no risk of a conflict between the primary duty and the personal interest.
Yeah, well, that the member of the Executive do not expose themselves to the potential of a risk.
Indeed.
Of conflict of interest.
Indeed.
So in your Phala Phala report, though, that second leg is nowhere to be found. Would you agree? You only say that ultimately the financial interests did not distract the President unduly from his primary responsibilities.
Not at all, Honourable Member. We discussed the issue of the conflict of interest in the Phala Phala report. Now, primarily what we need to look at, which we actually have interacted with, which has also been confirmed by the Constitutional Court in the recent case of the suspended public protector, whether there is a real risk. Now, there mustn't just be a suspicion or a far-fetched risk or any other potential which is not related on whether there is a real risk of a conflict of interest in the particular matter. And that we have interacted with in our report.